How dare you make such an ignorant observation? You better check yourself before you wreck yourself.
It's important context to make me realize that I don't think you want to get a deal done. I think this is something where you'd like to see the rates go higher and allow the Republicans to hang themselves with that. Is that the answer?
That's absolutely a ridiculous assertion. And really, shame on you.
3 years is not going to get passed, so what do you do?
Shame on you for saying that.
Why not start with a one-year extension or potentially even a two-year extension?
Well, Leader Schumer offered a one-year extension in the context of trying to end the Trump Republican shutdown.
Yeah, but that's different. What I'm talking about what you have now. Let's not go back to what's done in the past and what has not been extended. If you want to get something that has actually done, you need to do something that will have bipartisan.
You can ask me the question. You can ask me the question. I'll provide the answer.
Answer the question instead of going back.
I'll provide the answer. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dollar Tree Obama is out here getting absolutely slaughtered. This interview was crazy. I only saw a little bit, the drill. I watched a little bit of it, determine if it's good to react to. Then I react and post a video for you guys to see and enjoy. And man, this reporter from CNBC was not holding back. It's rare for anyone to really go in on the Democrats. They kind of just let them give whatever stupid answer, no matter how big of a lie and slap in the face it is, to their constituents, to their audiences, and then they just kind of move on. But then they want to hold the Republicans' feet to the fire and keep asking follow-up questions and interrupting and just acting just bonkers and pretty much debate them rather than interview them. It's about time the Democrats have gotten a taste of what the Republicans have been getting for years, as far as I've seen. Without further ado, let's go ahead and react to this. By the way, guys, there's a new feature on YouTube where you can hype videos. So be sure to like the video, hype the video. It helps out a lot. Appreciate you.
To get done, you are going to need at least some Republicans to come over. Why not start with a one-year extension or potentially even a two-year extension?
Well, Leader Schumer offered a one-year extension in the context of trying to end the Trump Republican shutdown.
Yeah, but that's different. What I'm talking about what you have now. Let's not go back to what's done in the past and what has not been extended. If you want to get something that has actually done, you need to do something that will have bipartisan.
You can ask me the question. You can ask me the question. I'll provide the answer.
Answer the question instead of going back.
I'll provide the answer. No. I'm providing an answer in order to provide context. Republicans have repeatedly refused to take yes for an answer. It was a very reasonable multi-year extension that was offered. It was a one-year straight extension plus a multi-year process through a bipartisan commission to more permanently resolve the Affordable Care Act issue. So having that context is absolutely important, regardless of what you may think.
It's important context to make me realize that I don't think you want to get a deal done. I think this is something where you'd like to see the rates go higher and allow the Republicans to hang themselves with that. Is that the answer?
That's absolutely a ridiculous assertion. And really, shame
3
on
years
you
is not going to get passed, so what do you do?
Shame on you for saying that. Because we're fighting. It's not a partisan issue for us. In fact, the states that are most impacted as it relates to an Affordable Care Act tax credit expiration are all Republican states. We're talking about West Virginia, Wyoming, Alaska, Mississippi, right? Tennessee. Over and over and over again, we can go through the list. That's why you probably have some Republicans who would sign on if you guys could come up with something that actually looks like a bipartisan deal. Listen, this is not a partisan fight for us. It's a patriotic fight. We're fighting for every constituent, even if Republicans aren't necessarily fighting for their own constituent. We want to find a bipartisan path forward. Sure. And that is what we've repeatedly indicated we want to do. Like, we want to sit down and have a reasonable discussion, find common ground to address this issue. Now, Republicans said in the House they were willing to deal with the Affordable Care Act tax credit issue after the government funding agreement was reached. Well, now the government shutdown is over, and there's still been no conversations with House Republican leaders. Mike Johnson never said that. The leader never said that. You do have Republicans, though, who would agree with you on something if it was actually bipartisan in nature. That's what I'm trying to get at. Actually, Mike Johnson actually did say that there was always a plan to specifically deal with the expiration of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. In fact, he said that repeatedly. So I'm not sure what you're referencing. I think their plan is something that looks more like an HCA, which I'm guessing you would say is dead on arrival, too. If you want to set up these health care plans that are funded instead of going through the ACA, I'm assuming you would say that's dead on arrival, too, because there have been Republicans who've put that forward. Am I wrong in thinking you would not go along with that? What I'm saying is that what's in front of us is the immediate expiration of the Affordable Care Act tax credits. Republicans have had all year to deal with this issue, and they've refused to do it. So they're the ones who are not interested in finding a resolution to a healthcare crisis that they've created, including passing a bill that enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. And because of their policies, hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers.
Yeah, there's cuts that took place for multiple reasons. One, because there's a lot of fraud related to illegal aliens, and two, because they added work requirements so that people who basically don't need the benefits whatsoever, effectively who qualifies for the benefits is what changed, which a lot of conservatives agree with. You can't just, how do you make government cuts, what Republicans keep promising, and then never cut anything? You have to change some sort of requirement somewhere in order to cut funding, or you have to generate more revenue, which President Trump is trying to do both, including with his tariffs that the Democrats are also fighting against.
Are closing throughout America, including in rural parts of the country. These health centers are closing throughout America, including in rural parts of the country.
Which would why it would be nice to see a one-year extension so that none of these things happen immediately and give you all time to actually try and work on bipartisan situations, rather than a 3-year extension that basically kicks it down until the next administration is here.
There's no scenario where the Democrats don't make a big fuss about any type of cut that takes place whatsoever, even if it's totally worthwhile, even if it's based off of millions of dollars, even billions of dollars worth of fraud. There's no scenario where there's any benefit that's considered temporary that the Democrats don't try to extend into perpetuity. They'll try to argue that, oh, this is going to be temporary, and then they'll extend it forever, or they'll pledge to make it permanent. Then it goes permanent, and then they'll promise to add more money to it in the next election. So that's kind of how the Democrats work. It's always just kind of stacking on top of each other. It's like the game of Jenga. You just keep pulling from the bottom and stacking on top, and guess what happens? Eventually the whole tower falls over, and the conservatives are like the people who are trying to say, no, we want to start taking off of the top and rebuilding that foundation so that there's a less of a likelihood of a complete economic collapse. But it seems as though the Democrats don't really care about that, especially Dollar Tree Obama here. I mean, of course, this guy's just going to say anything with his little stupid hand signs and, you know, whatever like dumb way that he talks. This guy, you would swear, is an AI human. Like, this guy doesn't even sound like a real person. At least, you know, we call him Dollar Tree Obama because Obama could actually speak fluently and well. He was one of the best speakers out of the entire party, whereas this guy is certainly not that. I'll tell you that right now. But guys, let me know what you think. For those of you guys who are familiar with this, do you think that the ACA subsidies should have just been extended, bearing in mind that it is taxpayer funding, which is basically just paid to insurance companies to subsidize individuals on the Affordable Care Act? Or do you think they should just wipe the slate clean and, you know, perhaps consider either giving these people money separately, or don't give them money at all and just let them fend for themselves? Let me know what you guys think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate you guys watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out. Big shout out to my members, 655, Cat 3309, and Noodle. Could not do it without you.
If Republicans had tried to do that to the Inflation Reduction Act, we're going to not pay our military, we're going to, you know, not allow the government to reopen until you do what we want, you'd be going crazy. You'd be going crazy about using a shutdown of the government with a continuing resolution to get what you want just because you don't like what the Republicans did.